You're in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
That's Bigfoot country.
That is.
I can't look into the darkness with you anymore, Mulder. I cannot stand what it does to you or to me.
It's probably the first time where you see like leftists and conservatives coming together to demand accountability from the government.
Hey, welcome to Sasquatch Talk. This is episode 2. It's been a couple weeks. My name is Bradley Valentine. I'll be your host again. Today I have Dan Adams and Troy Miller. And today we're going to keep our themes of mysteries and myths going on, but we're going to lean a little towards some firearm talk. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about a lot, but I have a quick jumping off point, a little icebreaker for us all. And I'll start with you, Dan. My question is, you're in the forest, you're going camping. Sasquatch comes up, right? You got your family, and Sasquatch starts attacking you. Or let's say he's around you, and you're like, holy crap, he's real, he's there. What kind of gun or weapon do you want on you at that time? I'll leave the rest up for interpretation.
All right, so if we're going off of the myth, right, this thing is 8 feet tall.
Right, sure.
I want a 45-70.
Okay.
Oh, so you're going with the rifle then?
Yeah, I want to punch a hole right through it. If it's mean and angry, right?
Right.
It's easy to reload, relatively short, like a Rossi, that's called the mare's leg, right?
Yeah.
So that's a 45-70. I believe it's 18 inches overall. That's pretty easy to get around your campsite and to aim.
Okay.
Right. But my hope is that it's just misunderstood and I don't have to shoot a hole through a mythical creature and be that guy.
You're like, would it be heartbreaking? Like, I've proven he exists, but I had to blow his Sasquatch brains out.
I'll say this: I've had a dog charge at my daughter, and it was a neighborhood dog. Couldn't tell if it was. Here's the thing, right? When a dog is barking, baring teeth, and running quickly at your child, instincts take over.
Sure.
I kicked that dog in the face as hard as I could with my steel toe boots on because I'd just gotten home from work.
Okay.
And like he went over backwards, right? Does that mean that I want to go out and kick every dog that I see? No. You know me. We've grown up together. I love animals, right? But when your family comes into a situation where there's danger, your instincts, your fight or flight response takes over. And apparently mine is fight.
All right. You heard it here first on Sasquatch Talk. Dan Adams would blow out Bigfoot's brains. All right, let's go over to Troy.
I'm going center mass.
Okay, fair enough.
Center mass.
Troy, same question. You and your family, you're camping. Sasquatch comes upon you. Maybe he does or doesn't attack. What do you want to have on hand for a firearm or weapon? What do you want?
It'd definitely be a firearm, not a weapon or a blade or anything. It'd be a firearm type of weapon. Yeah. Dan, with the 45-70, that's a great gun. That would be very effective for that. Honestly, I think I would be more on the pistol side of things with like a 10 millimeter. 10 millimeters are, some people labeled them as like bear guns.
Okay.
Because they're strong enough and big enough to penetrate the skin of bear if necessary. So assuming a Sasquatch is probably a very similar kind of thickness to skin, I would go with a 10.
All right. And
10 millimeter. All right.
And same last question that I asked Dan. If you had to shoot it and kill it, what would your emotional response be? Dan went straight to kicking dogs. So where do you go?
But that was because his daughter was in at risk being threatened. I don't have any children, but I suppose if it's me or my wife, right, it'd be a fight or flight type of deal. And I don't think I could outrun a Sasquatch. So yeah, I'd shoot as many 10 as I could and hit him as many times as I could, whether it's in the head, the face, the chest. If I aim low and to the left, maybe bottom his foot or something, I don't know. But I would just unload.
All right. Boys, thank you very
much.
much.
How about you, Brad?
Well,
Yeah. How about you,
You
Bradley?
you and your wife and the dogs are out there in
yeah,
Colorado, right?
yeah,
And since we know he's a mover,
uh-huh,
he's out there, right? In the Rockies, you guys are just out for a drive,
right, right,
right? Maybe not necessarily full on camping,
yeah,
but let's say you just go out for the weekend on a drive. It's a Saturday. You've gone and gotten some coffee.
yeah.
You're a coffee drinker, right?
No, Carrie is though.
No, not a coffee drinker. Carrie
Oh, then
is.
you're
You
crazy,
got
Brad.
Carrie a
You are
coffee.
crazy.
You got a what's your caffeinated beverage that you're getting?
I'll drink like a Monster in the morning.
A Monster. All
Yeah.
right. You got a Monster. Grab Carrie a coffee. Got the dogs loaded up.
Sure.
And you take a drive out there, right? And you get out. You're like, oh man, this is so pretty. You find a nice vista. You get out. Your dog doesn't lock the car and himself inside with the keys.
That would never happen.
Never. Only in Colorado. And you go to enjoy this vista and you hear something and you turn around and he's between you and the car. Right.
So
And you have, what do you have?
Well,
what do you want to have on you?
I think I was never in the military, and I don't have quite as expertise. I've gone to the shooting range. I've shot multiple types of guns. I think what I would feel comfortable with is some sort of shotgun, like a handgun.
Oh.
A handgun for me, I just worry about accuracy.
Just not enough training on the platform.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like this is actually one of our topics if we get to it. I'm not saying a shotgun has like unlimited accuracy, but like I feel like some buckshot, I could blow a hole in it, rack a couple rounds at one after another. And now if it's between me and the front door, I don't know if my reaction time would be as quick as you two, I don't have any training, not saying you guys have training for Sasquatch, but I don't know if I'd be walking away is what I'm saying. I think I might be like, Carrie, if I miss it, drive out because I'm gone. But yeah, I guess some sort of shotgun, with buckshot. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. And the follow-up question, would I feel bad? I think I would, especially like you said, like almost like a mythical creature. Would I do it? Yeah. Like Carrie and I have talked about like, hey, would you kill like a fox or a wolf? Because I love dogs. If we had to protect, like if we live in the mountain, I'm like, oh yeah, I would totally do it. Would I feel bad? It depends on how cute the fox was, and what it was doing. But yeah, I'd feel bad. But I agree with you guys. I would try to take it down.
Yeah.
All right.
You're not gonna offer up like, all right, take my guts.
Yeah.
She can go.
No, I would, if I could, I would take it down. Yeah. Well, let's get
Fair enough.
To a little gun talk, and we started off there. I hope everyone enjoyed that little icebreaker. And I want to talk about, do you guys remember Luigi Mangione, the guy who killed the United Healthcare CEO in December of last year? So, we saw like the footage, very brutal footage, but one thing that was going around in the news, like what was this weapon that was used? Was it like some sort of farm weapon? Was it a 9mm? And then I think we found out it was some sort of ghost gun. So for those who don't know, on December 4th, Luigi Mangione killed the CEO of United Healthcare, and Brian Thompson died from a ghost gun. So Dan, I'm going to throw it over to you just really quickly. What does that mean, a ghost gun?
A ghost gun, defined by the ATF, is a firearm that cannot be detected.
Okay.
Right. But we would have to have a discussion about metal detectors and
sure,
the different metals that can be detected by metal detectors. You know, like I wear glasses, and like we were in a pretty bad wreck. So Crystal has some titanium washers floating around, and those don't always set off metal detectors.
Yeah.
Because most of them are looking for ferrous material, right? Iron bearing material, steel.
Okay.
As that's what most guns are made of. Right. There's some exotic ones out there, but they're just we got to remember, they're trying to catch the majority of weapons.
Right.
Right.
So
they're not looking for a ceramic knife.
Let's say I go to CNN or Fox News or whatever, and I read like alleged assassin Luigi Mangione supposedly used a ghost gun. So does that just mean Troy, does this just mean he made a gun that just is undetectable, or like what are they trying to tell us? What are the police telling us about this thing, Troy?
Well, Dan, halfway right. A part of a ghost gun is not having a serial number on it too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make it undetectable, but you could also make a gun out of metals without a serial number, and it would still be considered a ghost gun.
Well, does that cover like scratching a serial number off of an already manufactured firearm?
That would be considered. That's highly illegal. That's removing.
I know
a
it's
serial
illegal,
number.
but does that make it a ghost gun?
I would consider that an illegal gun instead of a ghost gun, because a ghost gun never had a serial number in the first place, whereas that's one that had a serial number and then removed. So it's kind of two different things. But yeah, yeah.
So what did Luigi do then? He just used a 9mm and
from what I understand, didn't he print things off with a 3D printer and just assembled the gun himself? Because you could still do that too.
Okay, let's go into that, like printing or assembling your own gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can totally do that. You can make your own. Mm-hmm. You can make your own firearm according to the ATF for personal use, as long as you're not selling it for profit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right? You're not making 100 of them to furnish, your own militia. Right. But let's say you enjoy target shooting, right? And so you're like, gosh, I don't want to pay for a Glock, right? So you download, you're like, but I have a 3D printer. And you download the stuff and you've got the right plastics to do it, because, different plastics have different heat tolerances.
Right.
You can print your own stuff and then order a barrel and put it all together. I'm all for that. I'm all for affordable target practice, right? The Second Amendment, we'd be remiss if we don't talk about it, right?
Yeah.
The Second Amendment is there to keep the governing bodies in check and, for lack of a better term, kind of respectful of its governing body. Right? The people here in the United States are supposed to be the ones that vote in representatives of ourselves, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so the government should be respectful of the people that pay their paychecks.
Yeah.
Right. I.e. through taxes. They should be. And that's what my belief is, that the founding fathers of this country were getting at. That's what they were pointing at. This, because, and Troy, do you have it up? Do you know what it states?
What?
The Second Amendment.
I
have a Constitution copy around here somewhere.
Here, I'll pull it up.
Okay.
And while I'm pulling it up, the Library of Congress Second Amendment says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So to keep a free state, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about that, what does that mean to you guys?
Well, okay. I'll let you answer in a second, Troy, but I want to throw in another thought before you answer. So Okay, you brought up the Second Amendment. So when we look at like the Supreme Court, what the Supreme Court often does when a case gets to them is interpret the Constitution
Yeah.
and how it relates to a certain law. So you have like
Yep.
conservative and liberal judges, and not conservative and liberal in our current mindset, like Democrat and
Yeah,
Republican.
not in the.
But conservative generally means like the old original interpretation, whereas liberal will mean what does it mean today? So
They want to apply it in the terms of living in the
yes.
current era with the cities and like overpopulation, basically.
So a conservative justice will kind of look like what were they trying to say in 1776 or 1787? What were they trying to say, right? So Troy, I'll let Dan ask your question again with that in mind. Sorry.
No, that's fine. What does the Second Amendment like what is your understanding of it? Yeah.
What does freedom mean to you? Isn't that kind of what you had asked? Or
Yeah.
Well, specifically around the Second Amendment, though.
The Second Amendment.
Yeah, in regards to the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Right. They've talked about this country being free. It is, don't get me wrong, it really is. But prior to the United States being formed, the ruling governments of the time, the people had to basically get permission or ask the government to do a thing. And so they weren't technically free. And so then America comes along, it gets established, and we didn't have to ask government for permission. The government was the result of the people, right? The people came first, and then the government was established. So I believe that the freedom is freedom from government control. And so regarding the Second Amendment, every aspect of gun control that these politicians are talking about today is all an element of control coming from the government. Whether they're right or wrong, whether it saves lives or not, it breaks that what America is as far as that freedom component. And that's always been my thing. It's a form of government control is what it really is. And freedom means very little government control.
Yes.
In my take. Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay, let's go back and look at this. How do we look at that? Okay, I have the freedom to keep and bear arms according to the Constitution. Do I have the freedom to make my own arms?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because the Second Amendment exists.
But it doesn't say keep and bear and manufacture.
Well, okay.
Someone has to manufacture them, though.
They have to come from somewhere.
Okay.
Right?
Fair enough.
Does that mean that you have to buy everything? Like you can't you can't make your own shirt, you can't sew your own clothes because they're available for purchase, you have to go buy them?
Fair.
Yeah. Well, and
what about knives? What about kitchen knives?
Cars. You could build your own car. As long as you're not turning around and selling it for a profit, you can build your own car and drive it. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Truck, plane. The Wright brothers did that with planes.
So, okay, I think we're all in agreement that obviously the Second Amendment exists to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. I think we all agree on that. Let's go back to the ghost guns. At what we know the ATF definition a little bit and what they want us to not do with it, right? We don't want, like, Dan, you to go in your basement, make your own gun, and be selling it to me or Troy or, like, your friends or whatever, right?
Well, as long as you're not getting a profit.
Unless you have a license that allows you to do it, then you could do it and make a profit.
Troy, tell me about the license. Go carry on with that thought.
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest thing with the ATF is that they want to make sure if the licensees are in it for a livelihood or for to make a profit. They repeat that time and time and time again when you sit down with them. And so when a person applies for the RFFL, you could be a Type 1, Type 7, or anything else. The Type 7 allows you to manufacture guns.
Yeah.
So, for example, there are FFL dealers across the country who get a Type 7 at their house, so they can build guns legally, put a serial number on them, and sell them. And they could sell them online and across the country too. So you could, if a person has a small house, and they can wake up, go build a gun in their bedroom, get it all serialized, get it completed, and then they can upload it to their website and sell it to anyone across the country, as long as it's, that's the ATF. And then you've got certain, that follows the laws of the states. And so, but as long as you're licensed to do that, you can do that. A person can do that.
Okay, to get technical, if you do that, you make your own gun. Let's say you 3D print parts, but you have an FFL. You register it with a serial number. Is it then a ghost gun, or is it just
no?
It's not a ghost gun anymore, right? It's just a gun that you manufactured and sold because you have the right to do so because you have an FFL.
Yes, and the ATF, there are some regs you have to follow. It is regulated. If you're in the business if you're in it to make a business, to make a profit, and make a livelihood, there are regulations regarding it. So the serial number has to be a certain size and a certain depth into the metal. You have to have the make and model and the caliber on it, and then the city and state of where it was produced. So you have to do those kinds of things. And then when you put it in circulation, i.e. when it's bought, not when it's made, that's when you're paying the excise taxes on it. Up to, if you're producing over 50 a year, right? So if you produce less than 50 a year, you're not paying taxes.
Okay, for our audience, Troy does have his FFL, so he went through all the testing, all the forms, and all the regulations. So he's kind of our expert here. But Dan, I want to ask a point. Going back to these ghost guns, why? And we don't know for sure yet, but why did Luigi, alleged shooter, use a ghost gun?
Well, I think the only reason you would use one of those is, here's what I think is happening.
Yeah.
Okay. A ghost gun would mean that you didn't want it to be detected, right? You can make and 3D print firearms and things, but on the ATF, I'm on their website right now. It says things to consider is individuals who make their own firearms may use 3D printing processes or any other process as long as the firearm is detectable as defined in the Gun Control Act. You do not have to add a serial number or register it, the privately manufactured firearm.
Yeah, PMFs.
Only if you are engaged in the business of making firearms for livelihood or profit.
Yep.
Okay.
So, let's not confuse PMFs with ghost guns, right? This term ghost gun, in my opinion, is designed as a scare tactic.
Okay.
They want people to be driven by fear, so they will vote from a stance of fear. What people need to understand is guns are a thing and they exist. Some people like them. Some people hate even the thought of them because they think that a gun sitting by itself on the floor is going to get up and kill 30 people.
Yeah.
If that was the case, this whole country
if you take a 1911 and you load it, you put one in the chamber and add an extra one into the magazine and insert the magazine and lay it on the floor, even if it's not on safety, right? It will not kill anyone.
Right.
People get tools, farm implements, shovels, hammers, pickaxes, knives,
anything to kill a
harpoons, spears, piano wire, and decide to end people's lives.
Yeah.
Right? They drive. We could talk about cars.
Yeah. No.
There's
you're right.
unlicensed drivers running people over all the time.
Yep.
Right? And they don't even necessarily go to jail because it can't be proven.
There's about the same amount of gun deaths as there are car deaths in the U.S. each year. About. I don't know the exact number. It's around 40 to 50,000 each.
Yeah.
Which isn't at 40 to 50,000 each in deaths. A lot of these politicians are making it seem like there are millions of people getting killed through guns,
Sure.
and it's that 40,000 number is actually kind of low.
Yeah. So if you dig into history, before I get into this point, the question you were asking me,
yeah,
is about ghost guns.
yeah,
And let's make sure that we're not mixing PMFs, personally manufactured firearms,
okay,
with ghost guns.
okay,
There's a very specific rule that talks about them and that they're undetectable, meaning nothing's undetectable. Things are just difficult to detect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what your question was what his purpose of using a ghost gun was?
yeah. Why would he use a ghost gun?
Because I think he wanted it to be more about the death of this person,
yeah,
to highlight the issue that person has caused in thousands of other people's lives, versus it wasn't even about the ghost gun itself.
right,
The idea of this person being killed is being detracted from by the type of firearm that was used. We need to focus on why he was driven and felt the need to kill this person.
yeah,
And that fact needs to be talked about, because the corporate America, by and large, ruins thousands of lives a day and doesn't even give it a second thought, and it doesn't even get dragged into a courtroom, right?
yeah.
Instead,
you're talking his language now.
yes,
Yeah,
that's the part that needs to be talked about, but that's the part that the media does not want to talk about, because corporations do not want to be scared of consumers and people that are affected by their
I don't think
poor
I
choices.
agree. I have the CNN article pulled up right now, and they're talking about corporate greed, the like insurance, like how they take advantage of the American people all the time. Like this part of like his manifesto. They talk about this crap.
Yeah, but
all
that's
the time.
not the part that usually gets brought up.
What? So you're saying
in
it's
interviews.
the fear mongering over the guns?
Yes.
Troy. Okay, so Troy, I see it from one perspective. I see they talk about both, right? Like I'm looking at this article, and this one's talking about like his motivation and like Target Insurance. It checks every box. He continued in his August 15th entry. In October, another diary entry reads 1.5 months. The investor conference is a true windfall. Embodies everything wrong with our healthcare system, and most importantly, the message becomes self-evident. These are the words of the man who allegedly killed him. Do you think, Troy, that Dan is right, that we focus too much on the gun and not enough on the motivation?
He said that before. You could load up a 1911, put it on the table, and it's not going to fire. It's not going to fire until someone picks it up, puts it on fire, and pulls the trigger, right? But then the question is, why did this guy build a ghost gun to murder the CEO, as opposed to, like, if the motivation was there, he could have just gone and bought a gun or stolen it from someone else. Why did he take the time to build one? Yeah, and either way, the motivation was there. Regardless of what he did, he was motivated to kill the CEO.
Right.
So at what? So
did he have? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say. So does it matter whether it's a ghost gun that he bought it, or he stole it, or even used a different kind of a weapon? The fact is, he got murdered. This guy was he was walking to work or lunch or something. I forget the details, and it was an assassination attempt, shot to the back of the head, basically.
Yeah.
And that's not an act of self-defense,
right?
So that motivation, this dude was determined to kill the CEO,
yeah,
and he would have done it,
Dan.
Regardless.
Dan.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? I know you got something in your brain. Let us know.
Well, I think okay. It brings up a much deeper question.
Okay.
I think it brings up the question of combatants.
Okay.
Right? So are people responsible that spend the majority of their day figuring out how to manipulate the system for their own best interest? Do they become a combatant at that point? And this opinion of mine is probably not largely popular, right? But congressmen are not largely considered combatants. However, they send thousands of troops to die on front lines at the stroke of a pen. Why would they not be considered combatants?
I don't know if the exact terminology combatants in defining them that way. You may be right that your opinion's not popular, but I think your mentality is popular. I think this is the way people are very jaded against, whether you have the congressman or the president or the CEO, who works against people at times, takes advantage of the system. I maybe the combatant things, yeah, you're unique in that, but I think most people feel the same way, or a lot of people do. They're jaded.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So what? Keep going with that thought.
Yeah. So my thought on this is, without being able to highlight a problem because someone is so untouchable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people across the world are feeling the effects of corporate medicine.
Sure.
Or we'll say, what's a better usage of it? Like, I'll just say corporate medicine.
Like pharmaceuticals?
Because yeah,
okay.
Sure, that's better. The pharmaceutical industry.
Sure.
Right? People are being told that all you have to do is take a pill. And I've run into 3 different people, which I won't name, but their lives, one of them almost died. One of them has some really bad health effects, like vomiting and like just really poor quality of life after taking a medicine that was told to them would make them less fat.
Right.
Another person just basically stopped bending over because their stomach valve stopped working due to this medicine.
Okay.
Which, if you think about your life, like bending over, you do that often. So you have to modify. Yeah, you have to modify your entire way of existence. Because you feel like you're too large, right?
Yeah.
And this is just one aspect of the pharmaceutical industry, where the side effects are not, they're shrouded at most times and underplayed, right? They know that when people hear, oh, I could look better, essentially because of consumerism, I could be perceived as healthier if I just take this one thing. Right? Instead of being compelled to life changes that are healthier, right? Instead of that, because I think it speaks to a deeper issue with our country, which is consumerism,
right,
versus changing your lifestyle.
So okay,
but
what
I'm getting there. I know that this is like turned into a ramble, but I state your original question.
What was that again? Was asking like, where are your thoughts going when you were talking about how you feel you're unique in this feeling of combatants. Yep. Yeah. Okay. And you were making your point.
Yes. All right. Let me get back to my point.
All right.
Back on track. Here we go. So if your entire livelihood, your business revolves around duping people, basically, to take your pill because it's going to be better for them, when it's not. And there's a lot of studies that show a lot of these are not better for you, but their shareholder bottom line drives them to peddle it as such. Does that not? But there's no way to get to the top tier of people that, they walk around believing that they're untouchable and that their actions have no recourse, right? Is there a better way to, how do you help these people to understand?
What are you saying?
I'm saying,
say
like,
it.
I don't want to say it.
Okay.
But you know where I'm going. What is a better way to get the idea across, right? Sometimes if you're talking to someone and they're constantly insulting you, like you see it in movies all over, you slap them in the face, right?
Yeah, right.
Eventually you lose control.
Yeah.
You lose composure and you slap them.
Okay.
Right? If he met this dude face on and slapped him as hard as he could, right?
Instead of
Would it
shooting
have
him?
had, instead of shooting him, yes. Would we still be talking about this?
Of course. No, because no one.
No.
Well, I mean, no one's life ended. No one's gonna die by getting slapped in the face, typically.
Right. We, in this country, we used to duel each other just because, Troy, let's put this scenario out there. Let's say you smoke an occasional cigar, right?
Oh yeah.
So let's say that I disagree with your cigar smoking so much that I start to badmouth you to people at a church that we go to together. Can you believe that Troy Miller smokes cigars, right? And you're so offended by my slanderous words about your cigar smoking that you challenge me to a duel. We used to do that in this country, and that was commonplace.
But
I know.
But Troy, the difference between what Dan is saying, the duel, and what Luigi did was in Dan's scenario, you would walk up to him to the back of the head and pop him, and you wouldn't say, "I challenge you to a duel." You're done for.
Yeah, you just end it right away.
Yeah. So Troy, does Dan's not arguments but discussion points hold any water?
I see where he's getting at, but if someone was slandering me like that, they were talking crap about why would I hang out with them? Why would I start a business with them? Why would I do anything with that person? A person can have their opinions and feelings about my cigar smoking. But
I'm just using that as an example.
But my cigar smoking isn't killing 1 million people a day because of something that they're consuming. Right. But healthcare business or a business that makes a product that does end up harming people, and I can see why a person would get mad at the owner of that because it's harming others. And some people feel like in order to stop it, you got to cut off the head, you got to kill them per se. But where one person dies, where one person is taken out, another one will fill that spot.
So how far do we take this? I mean, we talked about, let's just go to cars.
Well, didn't that guy try to get like litigation and stuff, right?
Who?
You're talking about Luigi?
The Luigi guy. He was trying to talk to them, and
that's a good question.
Right?
I don't know. So
yeah, I don't know either.
Okay.
I think he tried other avenues.
Maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But what about this? Car manufacturers. I think we said 40 to 50,000 deaths a year. I mean, the best way to end car deaths is to stop cars, right? Like, if there were no more cars,
people wouldn't die.
People wouldn't die of car deaths. I know it's ridiculous.
But are you going to walk to the grocery store in the wintertime and buy all your groceries and walk back? Are you going to walk to school, walk to work?
I'm willing to say yes. To save 50,000 lives a year, I'm willing to walk to the grocery store. And you are the CEO of cars, right? Obviously, this is ridiculous. There isn't a CEO of cars. And
but a car company.
You are causing 40,000 deaths a year. You're done for.
Yeah, but then you counter it and be like, well, look at all the millions of people that are benefiting from having a car, getting to their place of work, getting to the grocery store, being able to
ambulances. The ambulances that save
delivering.
I save 150,000 lives.
Yeah,
but then you come down.
And
that comes down to the question, right? Do you sacrifice one person to save 100,000?
And then, but the intent was with like being the CEO of cars, you're not intent on building a car just for someone to get it and ram into other people. That's not your intent.
No, my
If someone
intent
does
is
that,
to
then
make
that's a
billions of
criminal act.
dollars.
But in the process, people are benefiting from it because
Uh-huh.
they deliver food. They're able to get to places that are faster than a horse and carriage, right? That's one of the reasons why cars came about, because it replaced the horse and carriage. There are no longer horses shitting in the streets at the cities, which was an issue with all of the big cities at the time before cars were a thing. Horses were just crapping in the middle of the streets, and it led to all kinds of health issues.
Insurance companies, they have a benefit, do they not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So can we not say the same argument for insurance companies? Like, sure,
I absolutely agree.
Maybe they scam us out of money. My perspective is it's government mandated that you have insurance, right? Like, the government gives a mandate to us to force up prices, at least in the United States, to force.
Yeah, but is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that legal though? You know what I mean? Like,
it is.
Because I didn't vote for it. Did you?
It absolutely is. And you know how I know? Because the Affordable Care Act went to the Supreme Court. It went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled, I don't know what the ruling was, I want to say it was 5-4, that the American people voted for Barack Obama, President Obama at the time. This was their choice. I know it wasn't yours and I's, but that's the representative democracy that we live in. And they said, this was your choice. You did this, right? Essentially, we agreed to it. Collective as society. Maybe not the three of us or those listening, but we agreed that this mandate is what we want as a society. So yes, it is legal.
By
it went
voting
to
in.
It went to the Highest Court in the world. It went through our judicial system, our executive system. So yes, the answer is yes. So what do we do then? We just pop off CEOs?
No, not at all. Killing a person because you disagree is always the wrong answer, in my opinion.
Well, what if they want to end your life and you disagree with it?
The ultimate disagreement.
Okay, if that's the way they feel and they come at me with a gun or some sort of lethal weapon, then there's that whole right to self-defense thing. If someone's attacking me, and even
people
though they disagree,
people die from these crazy drugs that they're injecting in people that they get them to.
That is true.
They may not be taking their hand and jamming that drug down your throat, but the system kills us, is what you're saying, Dan.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We could talk about 2020 and the COVID shot. Lots of people died from that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We don't have enough time. That needs to be a future episode.
I don't know. I'm too emotionally invested. I can't partake.
Okay. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it will be. Maybe we'll briefly discuss this.
It'll come up again. I'm sure it will.
So.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's wrap up some thoughts here.
Yeah.
So,
let's.
Ghost gun. Is it just a term that's made? This is what I'm getting, Dan. Your argument. It's kind of a term that's made to make us fear the ideas of guns. And
Anybody, Johnny so-and-so, could be in their basement printing deadly guns that the police can never detect.
Sure.
And he could have one right now. So you should stay home and never go outside.
That's
because you don't know who has a ghost gun.
Troy, I guess my thought is, and maybe I have some logical inconsistencies. If you're going to kill someone with a gun, there's either a serial number, which I guess in theory will help you track it back to the person who killed it, or there isn't. Does it really matter?
If someone's getting killed, then I don't think it really matters. What's the difference? If like I said earlier, that guy had the motivation. It didn't matter if it was a ghost gun he printed himself, or even if he had a mill and lathe and built his own gun out of metals and woods, or if he stole it from a neighbor or someone else he knew, or even if he bought it legally and used it to commit a crime. That happens too.
So the whole gun itself was plastic, the barrel and everything?
Was it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you
I
talking about Luigi?
I don't know if
Yes.
the barrel could be plastic, because if it was a conventional firearm with center fired kind of a cartridge, right? Like a 9 or something. I don't know if the barrel could be metal. It would melt in almost
You mean
immediately
plastic?
Yeah, I'm sorry, plastic. It would melt almost immediately if that was
Because
the case.
when you go to the ATF Gov site, I'm there now, and you scroll down to the ghost gun, it shows what looks like a Nerf gun.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, but it shoots a
Yeah,
projectile.
right. That
A
has
lethal projectile.
Well, a Nerf is
right.
a projectile.
That's what I was saying, but
Correct.
it's not lethal. A Nerf gun.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, you can make anything go fast enough to be lethal.
Sure.
That's true.
So what I'm saying though is to wrap up some points.
Yeah.
Was it actually a ghost gun, or did they just say that in the ad because they didn't want to say personally manufactured firearm?
Okay. So I'm trying to think. Okay, so you're saying ghost gun and what was it? PMF?
Personally manufactured firearm.
So a ghost gun is like breaking it down to its simplest definition.
Deliberately manufactured to be undetectable. That's what the ATF says.
Versus a personal manufactured firearm, which is I build it myself.
Yeah, and you can buy a parts kit online and build it yourself without a serial number, and that would be a ghost gun.
And the ATF's whole reason for referring to ghost guns is because it can be difficult to track them. Investigating crimes involving unserialized, personally manufactured firearms can create difficulty in tracing the origins of the firearm.
So
but
Dan,
origin of a firearm, whether Marlin made it or not, we're still focusing on the pathway that the firearm got to the person that did the killing, instead of focusing on the larger problem, which is killing people.
Yeah.
So Dan, what you're talking about with the tracing is the ATF has what they call traces. And so when a gun is recovered in a crime, they trace that serial number back to where the dealer sold it, and to who it was sold to.
Yeah.
Yeah, which something like 80% of them are stolen.
Yeah, that in crime uses, in criminal acts.
Right.
Yeah.
But they want to make sure that the gun used in a crime wasn't stolen from someone who bought it legally, or if it was someone who bought it with the intent of committing a crime. That's what that whole tracing thing. And so when you have a ghost gun, you can't trace it.
Okay, let's clarify a couple things. So this is based on ABC 7 News. I don't know if this is up to date, but police searched the backpack he had been carrying and found what they described as a loaded 3D printed firearm, a suppressor, and a single loose bullet. Quote, officers located a black 3D printed pistol and a black suppressor. They also described the weapon as having, quote, a metal slide and a plastic handle with a metal threaded barrel. The silencer was
the barrel
also
was
3D printed. This is according to ABC News back in December. Does that change anything?
Yeah. That's a personally manufactured firearm.
Okay.
But it doesn't
no serial
have to be.
number.
He could have bought.
It could have been.
It doesn't mention if there's a serial number.
A personally manufactured firearm.
Yes, Bradley, you're right. It could be both. I know a gun without a serial number, regardless, is a ghost gun, though.
Okay.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. It's one without a serial number.
No, because if you manufacture a firearm, you do not have to put. If you're not a licensed person, I'm not licensed. I could personally manufacture a firearm. I do not have to put a serial number on it.
No, but it's considered a ghost gun because the ATF doesn't
know about it. The ATF only describes a ghost gun. It says PMFs are referred to as that, but that doesn't make them a ghost gun. No, tennis shoes are commonly referred to as Nikes or tennis shoes. And they're
But they
not
don't
always
have a
tennis shoes, and they're not always Nikes.
Right, but you don't have to go through a background check, and they are not serialized. There's no independent serial number on each pair of shoes that separates them from one.
Right, that makes it a
from the next,
personally
even if they're
manufactured firearm. A ghost gun is one whose intention is to be undetected.
Yeah, no, you could buy a gun online, a parts kit, and build it, and it'd be a ghost gun. It would be detectable, but without the serial number, it'd be considered a ghost gun.
Ladies,
you
and
can't sell
gentlemen.
it. A gunsmith would not take it in for doing gun work either. If a gunsmith brings a gun without a serial number, they are required by law to put a number on it before they dispose of it back to the customer.
But I could legally bring you a barrel to thread it, right?
Yeah, but that's not the gun. That's just a component. That's not the serialized. Yeah, but that's not the serialized component. The frame, that's the serialized component that brings all of the things together that makes the gun complete.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. I have to say this, and for the second week in a row, listener, we've officially gotten nowhere.
Did we ever claim to get somewhere?
We have come to no conclusions. And that's how we're going to wrap it up today. We will leave you to take in everything that we've said and make your own conclusions. Is it a ghost gun? Did Luigi do it? He is the alleged killer. I have to say that for legal purposes. We don't want him to get off and, him sue us. He's alleged killer. So that's all we have for you today. I hope you had fun. Dan, Troy, wrap us up in about 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
I would say
it's just enough time to do nothing.
Well, use firearms in a safe manner.
Okay.
Practice. Don't aim that at anything you don't intend to kill. Beautiful. Or that's what I would say.
Troy, any extra thoughts?
Have fun. Guns are fun. They're the utility component. But go and have fun with them. Legally, safely. Don't hurt anyone, but have fun.
Everyone, thank you for listening to Sasquatch Talk. In episode 3, we're going to have more for you. Have a good day.